All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and let's get right into this lesson.
And don't mean to say this like to be disrespectful, and maybe this is, some people are going to think this sounds dumb, but I feel like there's a deeper reason why, people of color and specifically the black community have been relentlessly persecuted. Like, I mean, just the things that happened during slavery alone, like, were insane. But I don't know, the more I learn about black history and the ways that, people who literally worked in the government, like the CIA, all these different people in power were trying to ruin the black community. And it makes me think, dude, I feel like, is there something more going on here than just racism? Because it's like, come on, you're telling me you're doing all of this stuff just because you don't like someone's skin color? I feel like, what if, I have this theory that, like, what if black people have some type of superpower? Like, what if they have, I don't know, if they're just born something with something very valuable that we don't really know about, but maybe, like I said, these people, these rich people and these people in power, maybe they figured it out a long time ago, and maybe that's why they were like, oh, we have to, like, get rid of them, blah blah blah. I don't know, I feel like maybe they have something special that we are not taught about, that is linked to them being people of color. And I've seen some black creators come on here and try to explain how special it is to have melanin in your skin and how it has all these different properties. But I don't know, I just feel like I feel like this, I have this theory that this goes so much deeper than maybe a lot of us realize, because I'm sorry, but I don't think you're gonna go out of your way for all these hundreds and hundreds of years to try to ruin one group of people over something as silly as, oh, their skin is a different color. Like, I feel like there's something that we don't know. I'm telling you, there's something special about them that they don't want us to know. Okay, this is just something that I've been thinking about recently, and I'm like, maybe if there are some black creators that maybe they already made a video and I just didn't see it, I don't know, but like, I don't know, maybe this sounds dumb. Like, or maybe this is like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, but, you know, it's just something I was thinking about.
Now, I'll say this. There is something special about so-called black people, because the so-called black people are the true biblical Israelites of the Bible. And we know that black people, so-called black people, are of the Southern Kingdom, right? And the Hispanics and Native Americans are the Northern Kingdom. As it says in Psalms chapter 82, verse 6, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes, right? Now, of course, you're going to see and hear some black conscious creators, right, that believe in Kemet, which we know is full paganism. They're going to tell you that skin color, they're going to tell you that the properties of melanin is like a superpower, and that, you know, you're just going to hear all these other stuff and paganism stuff about black consciousness people, right? Where they'll say melanin has all these properties, and melanin does have a lot of good properties, right? Don't get me wrong, but melanin does not make uh, you special in the eyes of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. What makes you special in the eyes of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, is being an Israelite, right? Because we need to understand, a few thousand years ago, many of the people in the land of Africa, Egypt, and even in the so-called Middle East were all very dark-skinned, right? Or different shades of brown. So, and this doesn't mean just the Israelites were different shades of brown. Hamites were different shades of brown. Uh, you have many other groups that have different shades of brown. Even Moab at one point had many different shades of brown. But being those different shades of brown doesn't make you an Israelite. Because you could be a very, very, very dark skinned uh, looking person, but from the seed of their father, they could be an Edomite. So what matters is that your father is, or your dad is, comes from the seed of an Israelite, right? Because being an Israelite is what matters more than melanin, right? So let's get out the scripture right here, because clearly Esau hasn't only persecuted Jake just for their skin color. They persecuted him because Esau has a perpetual hatred, right? Let's get it out. Salakia. Says in Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end, right? So, what was going on in the time of the calamity of Israel? We were in the transatlantic slave trade, going through many horrific tortures and harsh slavery, right? And in the time of our calamity, Esau was showing his perpetual hatred towards us, right? So it's not just about skin color, right? We are Yahweh's people, right? We come from the seed line of Jacob, all right? So the Khazars in the Middle East, so-called Middle East, do not come from the seed of Jacob. They come from the seed of, those Khazars in the Middle East come from the seed of Esau, right? So this is why you'll have Esau Edom given a lot of false history in the classrooms. They'll try to tell the so-called black people, Native Americans and Hispanics that they're worthless, that they did nothing with their history. And it's all to keep them down for finding out who they truly are as Israelites, right? This is why, you know, in the land of our captivity, right? Baruch chapter 2 verse 30, for I knew that they will not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves, right? And this is what Esau has been trying to stop for a very long time. Esau has tried for so long to have so-called black people, Hispanics, and Native Americans not remember who we truly are, right? Because when we know who we truly are, when we awaken to who we truly are as Israelites and start keeping the commandments of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that is how you know the end of Esau Edom's empire is very near. So I hope this lesson is very edifying. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I hope this lesson is edifying to the elect and hopeful elect and the 144,000. And thank you to the elders, apostles, and brethren who help teach me this truth, and shalom.